Hey kids, let's continue living and non-living thing.
Among the natural things, some things have life. For example, animal, plants, human, birds, etc. These are called living things. But some natural things do not have life. For example, soil, water, air, clouds, etc. These are called non-living things.
So kids, among the natural things, something have life. Means some has the life. Life means they can breathe, they can move, they can reproduce, they can. So their size also change. So these are we called living things. So what the living things around we have? Animals, plants, humans, birds, all are living things. And some are natural thing does not have the life. Some are natural, they come from the nature, but it does not have life. For example, soil came from the nature, does not made by human. Water came from the nature, air, cloud, all are the nature, all are the natural thing. They does not have life, they are non-living things.
All man-made things like car, buses, furniture, buildings, etc. are also non-living things.
So all man-made things, whatever the things made by the man cannot make the living things. Okay, so they just we are making the product. So like car, buses, furniture, buildings, or any other thing also like notebook, pen, laptop. These are called non-living things.
How do we know which natural things are living and which are not?
So kids, how do we know which living thing and which things is non-living things? To identify the living and non-living things, we should have some criteria or we should have some characteristic.
All living things are different from non-living things in many ways. Living things move, breathe, feel, reproduce, require food for growth and shelter, and provide for protection. They also grow old and die. Non-living things do not show these characteristics. These characteristics make living things different from non-living things. Let us study these in detail.
So kids, all living things are different from non-living things, definitely. So living thing can move, breathe, feel, reproduce, require food for growth and shelter for protections. So living things require all these things. Means they can move, they can feel, they need to be taken inhale and exhale the breath also. They reproduce their own kind of species also, and they require the shelter, protection exactly. So they also grow old and die. So definitely all the living things think they born and they will die also in one day. Non-living thing does not show such a characteristic. Non-living thing does not have such a characteristic means they cannot move, they cannot breathe, they cannot feel, they cannot reproduce. They don't require any shelter. So let's study living thing in the detail.